Hello. This is what I did for my sculpture class, and it worked. And this is what I'll do when I need to do presentations or something like that, where I just need you guys to see my computer screen. So for the rest of the semester, I need you guys to either email me or log in once a week log into Blackboard and look at something in our content that once a week. That way I know you've done it. And Blackboard will tell me who has logged in. And that way I know you're still working on stuff and thinking about school. If your computer dies or something like that where you can't get into Blackboard, you have my cell phone number on the new syllabus. You can text or call me if something like that happens. And we'll work something out from there. No matter what, our job as educators is to try our best to make sure you guys learn the information you need to learn and succeed. And I am not going to let this inhibit your success in my class. You may not get the best experience, but we're going to make it work. As humans, we've been through worse or the same, and this is the first time in humanity since 1918 that we've had to deal with a pandemic. And that's pretty amazing. And it sucks that it has to be your generation, our generations that have to deal with it. And hopefully we'll be heading into less interesting times. Any crinkling you hear is Professor Jack, as newly, he got that new position from the chat earlier. And Professor Moonshadow is the other co-professors of the fibers class now. They're my cats. So let's look at the new syllabus. I'm not going to show you guys my phone number on the new syllabus because this is going up on YouTube publicly, and I don't want to accidentally dox myself. I think that's a word, right? I don't know. I'm just an old lady. So attendance, as I said before, I just need a digital footprint of your engagement. You can contact me via email or log into Blackboard or Microsoft Teams or now Discord, which I will email you the Discord link. Or you can even comment on one of our YouTube videos. Somehow I know it's you, and that you're engaging. Yeah. So, or you can text me if you don't have access to internet. Hopefully you've been able to check your email and can see my phone number to get a hold of me that way. If not, I've got your previous grades and we'll see, right? So the Blackboard forum, after I go through this, I will show you that, and that way, so either on the Blackboard forum or in Teams or Discord, we can show each other our work and still talk about it as a group, which is really important to art making. that you lose outside of class, and I wanted to make sure you still had that option. So, yes. All right, that stuff's the same. The other big difference is classes, right? We're no longer meeting this week. Take it easy. Continue making your little cats. I'll introduce, by next week, I'll have the next I'll do another video like this for our last project, reintroducing it. And then our last day to submit work and photos is the 28th. If you get everything submitted by then, you're fine. Even if you have to get it submitted, as long as it's before I have to put in grades, which is 2 weeks after, usually it's around 2 weeks after our last day of class, you're good. I'd prefer the 28th, that way you can just be done. If you want to get let's say you get everything done super fast and early and you just submit it now, great. And then you don't have to worry about this class, awesome. And maybe you just want to get everything done and hang out with us on the platforms, that's great too. Right. We're here to be flexible. So the artist research, I still want you to finish your last 7 artist researches, and you'll just submit those digitally. So yeah, just you can make it in a Word document, or if you still wanted to do it sketch like scrapbook style and just take a photos of them, that works too. If you want to continue the binder, that's fine. I'm not worrying about it. I think the artist research is really important for you guys. So I do, and it's something that you can do digitally, continue to do in a digital format easily. There we go, words. So, all right, going down to you have me in stitches. So what has changed with this self-sculpture project? So if you can finish your cat, if you don't have it or you don't have something to the sewing supplies to finish it, and you can't afford to order or whatever, or you don't have fabric to finish it, or what, how maybe you can't do it, that's fine. But what you can do is still create a soft sculpture with textiles that are available to you. They don't need to be cut or sewn. You could bundle up for an example, you could bundle up all your pillows and tie them together with your clothes, or tie together all your clothes. That is still like a soft sculpture, even though it's not cut or sewn. And I will show you some like bundled examples later. And then for our last project, we're still going to continue a space of your own. And this is, you can work with fibers or soft materials that you have around your place. A soft material can be paper, it can be like you can work with the fibers, natural fibers outside, like plants. Though that's where our fibers come from, right? They count as fibers in my book, and they'll definitely count now. So yes. So what you'll want to do is take the techniques we've learned or explore some new ones to create an immersive space. This space can be of any scale. Use textiles that you have in and around your home. So, think about it as an art pillow fort, basically. You could do something like that. The space can vary in scale. What if you made a space in your armpit, right? Like, what if you wove fake armpit hair with the Rhea technique? Now I want to do that. And like sewed it into one of your tops or something. I kind of want to do that now. That's hilarious. What if you filled one of your rooms with all the textiles in your home? So just explore what you have available to you. Maybe you take a corner of your house and some yarn and make a spider web. So it's really open-ended, and instead of having it anywhere, now it can be around your home. It could be even outside. You could put it outside in an outdoor space. You could build something using nature and just let nature do its thing to it. Maybe you weave with some tall grasses. You could look up basket making and find some reeds like around the parks in the bayous, cut them, and then weave them into a basket and create a space of that basket. So yeah. I do not have the project up yet, the presentation up yet, but I will get that up and we'll go through it. So, alrighty. Back over here. Let's go down to soft sculpture. We didn't have a chance to go through this during class. Sorry for the scrolling. If that makes any of you nauseous, I'm sorry about that. So soft sculpture, let's get snuggly with art. Yay. One of my favorite artists, Yoi Kusuma, Infinity Mirror, and this was one of her earlier pieces in 1960. So here are these soft phallic shapes that have been made using repetition. So there's a whole bunch of them. And then, a mirror is placed adjacent to this in a right angle, creating an infinite space through that mirror. So really, there's a lot of conceptual layers behind this piece too, with Kusuma and her view of the dot, as well as some psychological trauma with her relationship to men and sex. So yeah, really interesting artist to look into yourselves. Here we have Claes Oldenburg, Floorburger, 1962. So this was done after Kusuma, and but he's really well known for his large soft sculptures of everyday objects and large sculptures of everyday objects. So here we have a hamburger that is made out of fabric stuffed with a natural stuffing called kapok, but it was also painted. So this is paint creating more of like that hamburgery texture and burger look. So you could paint your textiles if you have that available to you, and combine paint with fabric. Here we have Eva Hesse, Aeneid. This is a flat panel with strings that are pulled and draping over into across this corner. This is still soft sculpture, even though it's not like what most people, like what one thinks of right away when they think of soft sculpture, which is a stuffed sculpture, like a stuffed animal. This is still soft sculpture. So maybe you can't cut and sew something, but you could do something like this with what you have. I hope you still have some yarn. If you can still get into school, feel free to grab some yarn or fabric out of the bins. Or you can order something online, especially now that they're going to be shutting down the county. Fake hair is fibers. I mean, maybe you have some cheap Halloween wigs. I don't know. Paper. You can make something out of paper. That's still soft sculpture. So, these are pantyhose that are stretched and pulled and filled with sand and tied and filled with sand. So the legs are tied, the body was filled with sand and then tied, and then the legs are stretched across the space to create this piece called I by Singea Ngundi, 1977. So I find this piece really interesting, and it's using soft materials, but not, again, in a different way than what was previously shown. So maybe you have some like tights that you could stuff with some of your, maybe you tie your clothes together in some way and like stretch it across your house or something. Or maybe you tie all your clothes together and see how far you can go around the space that you live, right? I don't know. It's up to you. Maybe you're feeling very adventurous, maybe not. So here we have a Louise Bourgeois piece. This was done in 2002. This is called Woven Child. So this is a very structured sewn piece that is highly realistic. And it's using different materials to their best, like to its what they naturally do. That organza is soft and draping over the child, creating a womb-like structure, but it's very vulnerable at the same time. Here we have Ernesto Neto. How do you say Nesto? Ernesto Neto. Just like drops in time. So this is the material that was used here is similar to it's a knit nylon that is similar to pantyhose, but this is filled with spice. And this is creating an immersive space. So you can even consider this one as you're thinking about your space project. It is fine with me if your two projects are using space, your two soft sculpture projects are using space in an interesting way. That's great. So Ernesto Nesto makes these immersive spaces out of soft materials. Recently, he's been working with more crochet and making these large crocheted spaces. Prior, he would make these soft spaces that had very almost natural, organic forms to them that looked almost as if you're inside of the human body, but very abstractly. So again, soft sculpture. Here we have another soft sculpture, even though it's not sewn. This is a netted piece that, so this is net was made and then lashed and hung over top of a square. And this is by Janet Elshman, 2018. And she does a lot of these huge netted pieces that hang over, public art pieces that hang over a city. They're illuminated at night and create these dreamy like forms in the sky. So you could do something where maybe you just take pieces of fabric and then hang them in an interesting way. Again, very open-ended. This is Ju Young Choi, Big Time Dreaming in the Age of Uncertainty, 2019. So this one happens to have a wooden structure inside of it, and but it's a sewn dinosaur from her world that she builds. So she builds these worlds. These are two of her characters. Oh, well, all of these are her characters from her world, and creates these spaces and puppets and things like that. Puppets are also soft sculpture, so feel free to even create a video where you have a puppet show. Feel free to incorporate your family or the people that you are, especially if you have young ones. They can help you make your art pieces. That is fine with me. Your family, your friends, who you are social distancing with. Maybe you make a soft 6-foot like pole or something, right? Maybe that might be better for the next project. To help you deal with the current situation. Feel free to use these as therapy as well, these projects. All right, so this is Sheila Hicks. For some odd reason, I did not find a title or a year on this one, but these are bound pieces of fluff. And this is yarn that is draped from the ceiling, and these are soft sculpture. And this is something done without sewing. So you can do stuff without sewing, or maybe you can't cut materials that you have at home. Maybe you twist and bind them together in some way. Lastly, if you have plastic and a hair dryer and a either a regular iron, you'll need to protect your iron with some parchment paper, and or a or a flat iron for your hair straightener, you can create inflatable pieces. So this is inflatables. This is Christopher Langton, Sugar the Pill. These are all pills that are inflated. So spilling out and coming into the space. So this is a possibility too. You could make a clear sculpture and out of plastics. Plastics can be soft materials, and heat up your seams to melt it together to create a sculpture. All right, so from now on, I will be available during our class times, our regular class times, on the Discord server or on our Teams. So if you just want to chat, hang out with Professor Jack and Professor Moonshadow, let me know. That's fine. I'll be there. If there are any demos that you want, sewn yarn weaving demos, if you want to learn how to make yarn, I can do that too. And I'm happy to show you guys that. Also, for the soft sculpture project, if you wanted to, you can sew some medical masks. The pleated mask PDF, this one is a better mask pattern than this one. This one I found too small. If you have a sewing machine and you feel comfortable sewing, you can go to the TXRX labs. They are looking for people to help make masks, or if you have a 3D printer. Yes, and then there are a couple other tutorials available for you. So yeah, if you want to do that instead of like making a sculpture because you feel like you just need to do that, great. To create a forum to submit your work, you'll click here and you'll click create a thread, and then just put your name in the subject line and you can post your images in the message area. Browse your computer to attach a file. I already did a sample one, so I can click on my name, and here's a really old sculpture, felt that I did. So yeah. All right, and that way you guys can post and hit reply and write, hey, I think this is great. You know, I really like how this is reminding me of nature, you know, whatever. So you guys can still communicate with each other and get that individual, your time sharing with each other. So yes, I think this is, yeah. I will talk to you guys later. And yeah, stay healthy and just let me know if you need any help. All right.